It's the time to get down.
To be done, people should be given help, like medical care at low prices or free of charge, because now the government is doing very little.
Much like here, huh?
There are a lot of dangers, lots of particles in the air. People who don't wear masks are just being reckless with their health. It's terrible.
The situation's been made worse by incessant high temperatures that officials say has almost doubled the city's mortality rate.
The average death rate in the city during normal times is between 360 and 380 people a day. Today we have around 700. This is no secret. Everyone thinks we're trying to keep it a secret. Look, it's 40 degrees on the street.
Many Russians have criticized the government's slow response to the forest and peat fires still raging across huge swathes of the country. 6 European countries have offered support.
Oh yeah, but I guess they're too proud. Now, and I can't understand that. We would never do that, right?
No.
U.S. government would never turn down aid like we did in the Gulf.
No, we don't turn down aid, man, because, we don't, no.
Well, that's my point. My point with all this stuff, you guys, is notice the similarity about how people get treated by their governments.
Right.
Okay, so whatever. But anyway, notice that's going on. That brings us back to here, and that brings us back to our issues also with the oil spills in BP, as we attempt to deal with whether or not the oil not being seen is good enough for you. All right.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, let's leave that enough. So that's enough of that stuff, you guys. And we'll save some for tomorrow. And we will be following this as we go along. We'll be following the investigation to the Afghan aid workers. We'll also be paying close attention to what's going on in Pakistan with the flooding and the suffering. So we'll keep you advised on that. We'll also keep up, as always, we promised you to follow the BP saga and what's going on. And then we got to keep an eye, too, on this Haitian presidential election. Wyclef Jean, what do you guys think? Sean Penn was, and I think they were watching what they were saying. And Wyclef came back with a very well-spoken response that actually was calm and not,
Yeah.
But there is debate going about whether or not he is actually qualified and should be the person, as Haitian president.
Right.
So what do you think, buddy?
Okay. Let me say this. One is that, okay, if you want to look at the resume and the profile and the history of being in politics, of course, it's weak. All right? Traditional political weakness, because he doesn't have that background. Okay, that's going to be the thing, the flame under the at the top of the fire that basically is going to attack him, because he has no expertise. Now, two, the other part that I turn around and say, if you would have asked me, I'm going to keep saying this, back in the 40s or 50s, and I know people going, why are you going backwards? Ronald Reagan's going to be your president in about 40 years. Everybody would have laughed at that as an actor. So the part I don't want to take away is that if it's not Wyclef, maybe he can mobilize an effort so we do get, they say you don't do this alone. You get this with a team of expertise and people surrounding you. So I think it's more than him announcing. It's what team you can build around you, what mobilization can you take upon yourself, and the efforts that I like what he's doing. He's not going to be a president that, if he is elected, if that by chance, and I have no idea, that if it stays within the jurisdiction or the province of Haiti, nothing's going to really change. He has to go on an international effort, because how do we survive as an impact or a country that has to thrive? Import, exports, trade, commerce, everything has to be there and mobilized. I just think right offhand, he may have a better stand at reaching out, because we've seen a history, Mario, at most of the time that, I'm not saying it was a dictatorship previously or anything like that they stay within the confines of their province to say, I run this, I don't need outside influence and help.
The problem is that a lot of these places, including to me, our government, except I think it's less apparent, corruption's endemic.
That's right.
Now you can say, U.S. is not corrupt. I said, isn't it seem like every week we have people under investigation for corruption? You just handle it differently.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I think we are just as corrupt. It's just under the surface. And we're not as corrupt for as little money. We're corrupt to the big money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Haiti, countries like Haiti's have that obvious level of low level corruption where everything responds to bribe.
Right.
From trash pickup to water to everything.
Everything
you
is
know,
there.
and there are a lot of countries like this around the world. In fact, most countries, bribes are the way. Okay,
Well,
it's unusual. And the ones that usually where they say they don't have so many bribes, then they have the undercover political bribes that are billions of dollars, dwarfing the other one in industry. Okay, they try to act like it doesn't, but bribes for local plumbing services and bribes for military contracts, I'm sure don't have the same money flow whatsoever.
Right. I mean, it's like looking at how we run our elections, and we legalize a certain effort that special interests can help you get what you want. You may not be the best qualified person, you just may be the best positioned person. But let me ask this. So right now, there is not a country on this planet or province that is not a prescription in some effort or its worth without bribe being a part of its fundamental
They would argue
program.
that. Like, in other words, I would go like, if here you have the U.S. whose military contracts are numbering in the billions, where you have contracts like with BP, okay, you don't have to call them bribes. You're doing deals behind the doors that are worth billions of dollars.
Right.
What is that?
Right.
Yours just don't affect you. You're affecting the other folks. So it looks like you don't look corrupt.
Right.
But you corrupted everybody else's backyard.
Right.
Exxon's polluting down in Ecuador.
Right.
All over the world, you got oil spills that are a result of these folks when you go look. But you don't hear it. It's not talked about because all that media stuff is carefully controlled. They'll get you a Louisiana spokesman. Hi, I work for PP. I'm down here on the Gulf cleaning up for BP. We're doing everything we can. Because they know damn well that you're going to try to identify with that person.
Right.
They're just screwing you.
Right.
They're just screwing you. They go get a spokesman you like, and then they come back and go, hi. And we're doing everything we can to help you down on the bayou. Go and get you some shrimp. Because we're down there cleaning up. Look around. You don't see any oil, do you? It must mean we're doing a hell of a job over here. Thank you for the wonderful job we're doing here in the Gulf.
You know, you actually do a great imitation of somebody. I just
Bullshit,
came from a right. Well, let me ask you this then. Is there a situation where let me put this in the right perspective here, that the benefits of corruption has positive results? And if so, do you believe that it can exist, or we're all going down the wrong path historically?
Corruption is always in the modern society used to demonstrate some degree of positive results. That's why you let it go by. It's the trickle down. So yeah, it's just like the health care bill. If the president gives $781 billion to the same health care industry that's been screwing you for years, okay, hey, you funded them.
Yep.
They're doing well. Now, you don't have to call that corruption. You can call it whatever you want. It's still empowering the same old thing. So you feel happy that you got some health care, right?
Right.
You're just glad you got a little extension. You don't care that they gave $781 billion to the same people who have not been taking care of you.
Right.
So the whole deal was like, yeah, we'll let you get some health care in, but we're going to get most of this pie.
Right.
And so that's what they did. They passed $781 billion. You get some crumbs, and they get the pie. Every place you look is going to work essentially like that.
Okay.
You get some crumbs, and they get the pie. And then they sell you on how lucky you are to get those crumbs.
Okay.
Look at how wonderful. It's what's to ask. Look at the jobs flowing back into the Gulf.
Right.
Yes, look today. Today, remember the spill, the terrible spill? Well, today we have the wonderful examples of the cleanup. Look, there's Bob Guillon and his wonderful family out on the beach having a wonderful barbecue. Bob, how are you feeling? I'm feeling really good right about now. I don't see no oil, and we're really enjoying these shrimp. I see. So you're going to come back and say, look at Bob, the wonderful job that we here at British Petroleum are doing, cleaning up our Gulf.